Hello, everyone. The clip you're about to hear is from one of our exclusive Patreon episodes on a recent horror release, and just like all of our other episodes, it might include major spoilers for said horror release, so don't listen to it if you haven't already seen it. You've officially been warned. And if you'd like to hear the full episode, just head on over to patreon.com/horrorqueers and subscribe today. Without further ado, here is your exclusive Patreon clip. Just to go back to the overall quality of this kind of roller coaster that we're talking about, none of the bad stuff was ever like show ruining, where I was like, oh, I can't watch the show anymore because it's so bad. It honestly kind of became comedy for me, where like my husband and I would just watch it and we would be laughing sometimes at the show and sometimes with the show. Like it just depended on what was going on.
Yeah. I mean, you could turn it into a drinking game if you wanted to, where it's like every time we have either a cringy line. This season, it's every time we're saying fucking spooky spaghetti, or in the finale, every time we say the word proxy.
Oh my god, the spooky spaghetti. Okay, so let's just so we divided this our outline out. We're gonna go by the characters in their plot lines.
Yes.
Because so we have all the girls, and they have also boyfriends, and then there's also like family. These poor mother actresses who have nothing to do. Yeah.
So wait. So here's what people need to know about season 1. So there's 5 liars. They live in the small town of Millwood, and in season 1 they were being stalked by A, who was a giant masked man who was going around killing a bunch of people, and they had to figure out why. They realized that they were all sort of connected, but it mostly comes together around Imogen and this baby plot. She is pregnant because she was raped at a frat party, as was Tabby. And so it all comes to a head where we reveal who A is, and we send him away, kind of, because of course the first episode back is like, hey, here's what you missed last time on Pretty Little Liars.
Well, and again, if you haven't seen season 1, or you're like, oh, I never watched the original series, do I have to watch that to get into this? No, there are like Easter egg references to the original series, but there is nothing is bearing on the plot. You'll even like miss the references, and it doesn't matter. So this is pretty much a mostly standalone series of television.
Agreed. Yeah. Like I think I watched 1 episode of Pretty Little Liars and I was fine to jump into season 1. And then I, like you, had forgotten most of season 1 of Pretty Little Liars Original Sin. And when I sat down to watch it, I was like, I hope they give me a recap. And then I realized, oh, that first episode is giving us most of what we need.
Yeah, absolutely. But it also the original show, which I watched, I want to say 6 of the 7 seasons of, or maybe 5.5. I think I made it halfway through season 5 before I stopped. But it actually was like it leaned into horror a lot. Like there's an entire episode that is a Psycho homage. They do a Terror Train thing. Like I wouldn't call it a horror show, but it very much wore its horror influences on its sleeves. Whereas I think season 1 of Original Sin, like I would call that a horror show. Season 2. I would call more, it kind of harkened back to the original show for me, where it was more of a teen soap opera with horror elements, but we are still killing people here, so.
We are. They're just often the peripheral characters. And I will say that's one of my criticisms of season 2. I don't necessarily want us to kill one of these liars, but when I thought that we were killing Kelly, who's the religious girl played by Mallory Bechtel, I thought, I like this actor, but if it means that we kill someone so everybody else gets more screen time, I might be okay with it.
I was actually really upset with how separate she was from the liars for most of the season.
Like, 100%.
I like this Kelly. Well, I liked this Kelly character. I don't know how anyone comes back from what she did at that Redemption House thing, which I think that's the best episode of the season for me, is that episode.
Okay, yeah.
But, I mean, because it reminded me of in Chucky, when Lexi like mocked Jake's dad by like dressing up as his corpse for Halloween. And I was like, ooh, I don't know. But, we came around on Lexi, and I would like to come around on Kelly, but it's kind of just like I'm sorry, guys, it's okay. That's the kind of writing we got.
It's so true. And I don't want to belabor the point, but I think when everybody only gets a tiny little bit of screen time in every episode, because there's so many characters, so many plots that we're trying to juggle, it becomes really hard to say, oh, well, I forgive a character like Kelly, because it feels like we've seen her twice since that happens, and then everybody's just okay with it.
I would really like for there to not be boyfriends next season, or if there are, have them be the ones that die. Like they're getting killed off in succession, and the liars have to figure out what's going on.
100%. Are you hearing us, Roberto Aguirre Sacasa? Because we are giving you a freebie here.